Hi, welcome to Joanna's DIY Life. I am so glad you are here with me today. I'm going to be making a tote, okay, because I need one today. I am teaching a painting class, like I can really teach, like I can paint. Thank God it's just the church ladies, because, you know, I'm not a painter anymore because of my carpal tunnel, but, you know, I play around a little bit sometimes, so we're going to try to paint, and, it's just fellowship and having fun. So that's the bright side of it. But anyways, I need a tote, a craft tote to carry the stuff in, okay? I am tired of taking my clothes baskets and this and that and the other. So I'm going to make a quick little craft tote, and I'm going to be using the Dollar Tree tote pattern, but I'm going to alter it just a little bit, okay? But that's just for me. I'll explain how to do it. So let's get started. Okay, so this is the Crafter Square by Simplicity, okay? It's a Simplicity pattern. It's legit, but I done a short on this when I first looked at it, and I thought, why in the world would they do this? Okay, you're going to have to trace these patterns first and foremost, because this is the body, okay, and it's telling you to place this on a center fold, which we're not doing that because I'm doing it a different way. This cuts out and puts right here. So if you cut this out and put this right here, and then you cut this out, you're cutting off your whatever this thing is. And that's a measurement guide. I don't know. But anyway, you're cutting out your straps and your pocket. So what I suggest is get you on Amazon a roll of, this is medical paper. One side is paper and the other side is slick. I just put it on here. Well, I'll show you what I done. But anyways, these are not expensive and they last forever. And I use them all the time to make my own patterns, okay? But what I done, and let me show you real quick, is I took my paper and I folded my paper in half and put it on this edge, okay? And I cut this out. I drew one of these first, and then, you know, tape it down here, and then draw your pattern out. Now, I did this on another piece of paper because I didn't want to mess up this pattern. So, yeah. So, then you just cut everything out, okay? So, that's that. And then now I have this, but I want my tote kind of boxy, okay? So instead of it'll be a 3x3 corner, I used a 3.5, okay? I have a 3.5 cardboard template. So I just laid it down, drew it out. This is a 3.5 square. So whatever you cut out will be ×2 because you're sewing that on this piece and that piece. So I wanted it kind of a boxy, bigger type deal, but this is the main pattern, okay? So what I have already done is, I haven't cut my fabric, but I have cut my lining. This will be my lining. And then this right here is a very stiff, it's a tote or purse stabilizer, okay, but it's not sticky or anything. So I'm going to be spraying that and attaching it to my main fabric, not the lining, but I want this on the main body of the fabric, okay? So I got one of those. I got my inside already cut out, and now I am going to cut out the main body of my fabric, okay? So the way I'm going to do this is, I don't want to unroll all this, so I am going to put this down, and then I'm going to fold over because I need 2 pieces, right? So now I can just cut a piece of this off. I bought this for an apron, but Lord knows I'm not going to make no craft apron. I just wear craft clothes that you can't see because I put paint everywhere. So I'm going to go up just a smidgen more, and I'm just going to cut straight across. Okay, and I'm going to put that to the side. So now I'm going to take this piece, and this is duck fabric, so it's pretty stiff to begin with. So what I'm going to do is I am first going to iron it, okay? I'm going to iron it. Then I'm going to take this elsewhere, okay? And I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to spray it. And I do not have my 505 spray. I have this June Taylor quilt basting spray, okay? And I'm going to spray this part out somewhere else where I don't get my room sticky, all right? Probably go outside. Then I'm going to lay this down on this fabric after I iron it and then cut around it, okay? And this is going to make my craft tote stiffer because I don't want just a tote bag, okay? Now I'm going to take my piece that I sprayed. It's sticky on the one side. And I am going to make sure I'm not in that selvage on the edge, and I'm going to lay this down and press it really, really good. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut along this edge. And I will tell you that when I sew it, I am using my vintage 401A, and I have a jean needle because it's going to be really, really thick, and I have a thicker thread. So that's what I'm sewing this on. Now if you do just a normal, you know, cotton bag with mid-weight interfacing, you don't necessarily need a jean needle. A 12 or a 14 will work. But I'm going to do this and I'll be right back. So now I have this. And this is stuck down pretty good. Now I will iron it starting from the middle going out before I sew anything to make sure it is stuck down on there, okay? But before I do that, I want to show you, because I'm going to be using the iron, how I'm going to do my pocket, okay? This is fusible midweight. It's by Pellin, and I like to use this when I do embroidery. Haven't really used it in a while, but I love it when I do embroidery. And I cut out my pocket piece, okay? It's a big pocket. So cut out your pocket piece, or a piece for your pocket. This is not the pocket piece. Okay, this is the pocket, and I folded the edges in. This is where I was telling you, you cut your interfacing smaller than the pocket, okay? So what I'm going to do is, when I get it unpinned, open this back up, okay? Now, I cut this the size of this inside body. So what I'm going to do, I have two of them. Well, I will after I separate them. I forgot I folded it and cut two at the same time. Anytime I can save time, I try to. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the wrong side of my fabric, and I'm just going to iron this down. Now you know you're going to want it longer at the top because you got to fold this down, okay? So I'm just going to place it in here, and I'm going to iron this piece down, and then I will put this, because you can see through it, and pin it down, and then cut around my pattern, okay? So I'm going to go iron this, and I'm going to iron two of these and cut my pocket out. Now I'm going to take my pocket, and I'm going to take the top, and I'm going to fold this down just a piece and iron it. I wouldn't use steam just yet because you'll get burnt. And then I will fold this piece down to my interfacing, okay, and this will make my pocket top. So it will look like this when you're done. There's my folded top, folded down, all folded in and ready to, when I get it all down, I tuck everything the way it's supposed to be, and I give it a good steam press like this. Now it's ready to be sewn across here first and then sewn down. Okay, so I'm going to do my other one real quick. I went ahead and top stitched both of mine while I had them over there. So now we're going to place our pockets on. Make sure you open your tote up because you don't want to pin it to the other side. Okay, so this is going to be our bottom, and I want it up a little bit from the bottom. So I'm eyeballing mine. Now, you want to do yours, but you do you, boo. Okay. Oh, good Lord. So I am going to pin this right here. Woo, it's hard to pin through that thickness. I'm using these thicker pins. You don't want to use real thin quilting pins. They'll bend. It won't go through. It'll bend your pins. So you want a little bit thicker pin. And make sure you take them out. You do not want to sew over your pins. Now you could have used basting tape, or I could have glued it, but I just used pins. So once I get this pinned, I'm going to pin the other one to the other side, and then I'm going to go do a top stitch right around my pocket. Don't top stitch the top because you'll shut your pocket, but just go right around your pocket and top stitch. I will tell you, I'm going to be cutesy, and I'm going to use a double needle. Okay, to use this double needle, you insert it in your machine just like you would your normal needle. Okay, you have your one thread coming through. There should be another knob, or another knob you can add to your machine to add another thread. You thread both threads through just like you're threading the machine, except when you get to the bottom, you put one through one eye, one through the other eye, and there you go, and you'll have your double stitches. Make sure that you have your needle set in the middle, because if you have this to the side this way, this needle will hit on this side. This way, this needle will hit on this side. You do have to have this in the middle. So I'm going to go top stitch these now after I thread my machine. Y'all, I have got to show you what I done. You see this? This is upside down. I so forgot. Because it was busy, I thought it was non-directional, but it is directional. So this side will be right, this side will be wrong, okay? To fix that. This is the same size. I'm going to cut across here, and then I'll stitch this back on, okay? No big deal, no big deal. I'll barely catch it so that it won't take up a lot of space. So what I'm going to do is, sorry about that, I'm going to take my ruler, okay, and I'm just going to draw a line using my chalk marker. I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to cut right there. This doesn't matter. Where did them? Oh. Y'all, these scissors, I do want to tell you, if you have trouble with your hands, I mean, I know I love the Singer scissors, and they're pretty lightweight. These are bent more. They're so comfortable. There's a bigger spot for your hand. Your hands aren't doubled. I mean, I do love these. I do. These are Kai. I have the package somewhere. Kai. They are very popular scissors. These are the cheapest of them, and I will tell you what, these are awesome. They're made in Japan, and they're made of stainless steel, but they cut through. I did a jean tote just to practice. It cut through that jean like butter. I'll have these particular ones in my Amazon store, but they don't lift your fabric up as much. They cut closer. I love, love, love these scissors. I've been using them for a minute, so I do know about them. But anyway, now all I'm going to do is take this piece, okay, hold on one second. Okay, sorry. I'm going to take this piece and see it would be even with that. So I'm just going to bring it down here. And I am going to flip this over because this will be easier for me to line this up right here. I'm going to get it even on these sides, okay? Going to get it even on the sides. Now, I'm going to pin this down and I'm going to sew this on. So there'll just be a little line across here. It's no big deal at all. What am I doing? Getting nervous, I think. That's what I'm doing. So I'll stitch that on while I'm sewing on my pockets. So when I open it up, it'll just flip that over just a little. And we'll, worry about that when we get there. So I'm going to go do that and do my pockets. I will tell you, when I sewed the pockets on, it was so much better to roll this thing up, to send this through and, maneuver it around. But anyway, there's my pockets. See the stitches? They're so cute. Okay, so I got my two pockets on. I sewed this piece on, and then I ironed it flat. Now, what I'm going to do is, well, one, I have to cut this where I sewed my other piece on. Sorry, I know that's in the camera, out of the camera, but I've got to trim it up to right here, okay? This is just going to make it easier when I sew this piece. No big deal. I leave my mistakes in because, if I give up every time I made a mistake, it would be bad. I wouldn't get nothing accomplished. Everybody makes mistakes, and practice makes perfect. So even though I've been sewing for a long time, I'm not necessarily perfect. And I do want you to know that I put one pocket lower because I wanted to stick, in case I wanted taller stuff in there. Plus also this made it a little shorter over here. So, but I just, in case I wanted anything taller, I made that pocket just a little lower. They don't have to be the exact same. So now I'm going to bring this up, and I want to pin this piece because we're going to be not sewing here, but we're going to stitch right along both sides. That's it. I'm going to do this to this, and I am also going to stitch the lining just right down the sides for now, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Now I went ahead, when I sewed down the sides here, I sewed my lining down the side. You want to make sure that you sew it in more than you did this one because it's going inside this one, so you're going to need just a little leeway, but not a lot, because then it won't fit around. It's rather to be too big than too small. So I went ahead and pulled my corners. All you got to do is flatten your seams, pull them to, flatten them, and then sew across them. Make sure you back stitch, okay? Back stitch, very important. If you find this wrinkling, just push it down and you can sew right over that. So I'm going to go sew these ends shut. Now I'm going to take my liner and I want it this way. My bag is thick, so this is the way I have to do it. And then I'm going to turn my bag the right way, but before I do that, I want to iron down just a piece, okay? I'm going to iron this, and then I'm going to iron down. I want to iron down the same size or the same thing on this one, okay? So that's what I'm going to do now. So I have to add handles before I put my lining in my bag. I want thick handles, short, thick handles, okay? So I am going to just use this right here, and I don't want to use interfacing. So I am going to just take my material, fold it over on itself, and I'm going to make it a little wider. And this is going to make sure I have enough to fold over. So all I'm going to do is take my ruler, put it on the edge here, and I'm going to cut around my ruler so you know it's 6 wide, and then you can make them the length that you want to make them. But I just want mine, like I said, stronger, thicker, without having to use interfacing. So this will be my handles, and I'm just going to cut down the side. Make sure you push down where you're cutting. So you push here and pull here so you get it as flat and as even as possible. Now I have these. I'm just going to do this right here. I'm going to fold in, and I'm going to fold in, and then I'm going to fold over, and this gives me a thicker handle since it's duck fabric. Now if you want to, you can fold in, and then just fold, and that would give you a thicker handle. Depends on how wide you want your handle, but this is how I am doing my handle. And then all I have to do is sew down this edge right here and seal my handle, okay? But before that, I'm going to iron it. And I don't want a really big handle. I don't want it real long. That, to me, is too long. I just want a short handle, okay? So I'm going to measure it now, and I want my handle about that long, which is, mine is 17 inches long. So I'm just going to cut it at 17. I'll go ahead and cut this one at 17, and I will fold them the way I want to fold them and iron them, and then I will be right back and show you how I'm going to put them on. Okay, so my handles are done. Straps, handles, whatever you want to call them. So now I'm going to take these, and I am going to take this, okay, and I want everything the right way, because when I'm sewing this in, I'm just attaching the two. So I'm flipping this in, and I'm just going to push out my corners, just using my finger. No biggie. Oh, I'm loving this, y'all. I am loving this. Alright, now, you're going to put your liner in here. You want it the right way. So you're going to slip it in, and I'm going to pin the liner to my bag right together, just like that right there, okay? I'm using my strong pins once again, and I'm just going to make sure that I get this pinned all the way around this bag. I'll worry about my handles in a minute, okay? So I'm pinned in there, and it looks like my lining is a little loose, but that's okay. I can work with it. It'll be okay. It's just a craft bag. Now I want to place my handles, and I curve mine around, okay? And I want one at the end of this pocket. See, I'm kind of lining it up with the pocket. So I'm going to make sure this is together, and I'm going to put a pin right here, okay, pinning that in. Then I'm going to curve this around, yeah, this way, and I'm going to put it in at the other side. Now I'm going to have to take this pin out, and I'm going to line that up right like that. So this is going to be my little short handles, okay? I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, lining it up with each side of the pocket. Now, if you want to do it, you know, you can line it this way and then put yours where this one is. Measure in, but mine, I'm just going with my pockets, okay? So I pick it up and make sure they're even. And they're even right there. Now I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to top stitch right around the edge of this. But when I get on this, I'm going to go back and forth, okay? Just to make sure that I get that in. And I'm going to do that on each handle just for reinforcement. I'm fixing to make a cute little insert for the bottom of my bag just to make it a little sturdier. Now this is a boot box that my husband had. This grain is going this way. This one's going this way. That will help reinforce and stabilize it, okay? So this is scrap, and I thought, hey, I'm just going to use it because why not? It's there. So I'm going to take my cardboard and I am going to cut this out a little bigger than what it is, and this is just easy. You do not have to measure. Oh, fart nugget. You don't have to measure. Sorry about that, y'all. But you just want a little bit to fold over your board, okay? That's all you want. And you're going to do this for both boards. Whoa. See, like I said, don't have to be precise. Thank God. So once you get one cut out, you're going to take it and I'm just using tacky glue. You can use hot glue or whatever you want to use. And I'm just going to take my glue, run it around here. Fabric tack would work great too. Whatever you have. And then I'm just going to start folding my fabric over. Good deal, Lucille. You're going to have to put glue here, and here, and here, and here. Y'all have never done this before, so you're doing this with me. First time for everything, right? Now, just fold your fabric around this board and get it as flat, as flat, not fat, as flat as possible. Good Lord. Make sure you... the things that happen. Oh my gosh, y'all. People wouldn't believe me if I told you all the things that happened to me. It's funny. But anyway, yeah, that's holding real good. Do the same to your other board. Now when this dries, which for the sake of filming, and I gotta go, mine ain't gonna dry. But I'm just gonna take the same tacky glue. Now, like I said, you can use hot glue. I'm not. It's not that. This dries pretty quick, okay? And you're going to want to glue the whole thing together. I was going to use Mod Podge. Now I got to find my lid or that one's shot. But anyways, put this on here. Make sure they're even. Even Steven. Wipe up all your glue mess. Okay? And if you have clamps, clamp it together. If not, put something heavy on top. And there you have just made your insert to go in your bag. Found my top, y'all. Yay! So for the sake of time, I stapled mine. When it dries, I will take my staples out later, okay? But I did want to show y'all another option that I didn't think about till I was done. But just say this was a pocket. You can add a pocket on a pocket and have double pockets on either side, okay? And also, you can flatten this out, and before you put everything together, you might could add a pocket on the side. I'm not sure. I might do one with a lot of pockets. We'll see. But for now, this is my bag, and this is my insert. Let me make sure I ain't got no glue straggling on the outside of this because I don't want it in my bag. Now, all I got to do is take my insert, push it down on the corners, and I cut it the size of my bag bottom, okay? And there you go. It's in there. And how cute. I love it. I love it. Y'all are going to have to overlook my hair because I had to throw my hair up. But here is my bag. And trust me, honeys, it is loaded. And I did add one of my snaps to snap it shut. Now you can add a button, you can add the magnetic snaps, whatever you want, but there's all kinds of paints in here, and it is loaded with paint, and it is very, very sturdy. So I myself, I love it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. And with all that being said, thank you for watching. You are a blessing. Goodbye.